Hello, my name is Leo and welcome to another reading of the Elder Scrolls. Today we're going to be reading The Dowry, Ancient Tales of the Dwemer, Part 10. You will of course notice, by Morobar Soul, you'll of course notice that Part 9 does not exist. And the next one is Part 10, 11, sorry. And then Part 9 does not exist. Part 7 did also not exist, is that right? Hang on, we got 1, we got 2, we got 3. There was no 4. No, 4 was a, oh yeah, 4 was one of the online ones, right? And then we had, what, 5, yes, and then we had 6, and then we had, I think, wait. Whatever, there's missing ones. There are no books, so, whatever. Today we're going to be reading The Dowry. Oh god, that's a name. Yenli. Yeah, good enough. Nali. I think Nali. Make the Y silent. Okay. Nali was the wealthiest landowner in Gunnel. And he had over the years saved a tremendous dowry for the man who would marry his daughter, Jennifer. When she reached the age of consent, he locked the gold away for safekeeping and announced his intention to have her marry. She was a comely lass, a scholar, a great athlete. Wait, is comely a good thing? But dour and brooding in aspect. This personality defect did not bother her potential suitors any more than her positive traits impressed them. Every man knew the tremendous wealth that would be his as the husband of Jennifer, and son-in-law of Nali. That alone was enough for hundreds to come to Gunnel to pay court. "The man who will marry my daughter," said Yenli to the assembled, "must not be doing so purely out of avarice. He must demonstrate his own wealth to my satisfaction." This is basically that part in Kaguya, the woodcutter's daughter. Japanese tale. Anyway. This simple pronouncement removed a vast majority of the suitors. Oh, really? Wow. Who knew they could not... Oh, they just gave up. Oh, at least try, dude. God. Who knew they could not impress the landowner with their meager fortunes? Well, he didn't... Wait. He didn't say that... You're an idiot. Those guys are morons. They're like, he said we have to have our own wealth. Doesn't mean money, idiots. It means heart, and character, and stuff. Never mind. A few dozen did come forward within a few days, clad in fine killark cloth of spun silver, accompanied by exotic servants, travelling in magnificent carriages. And of course, they're all going to be kicked back because they're rich. Of all who came, you said that right. Of all who came, who met with Nali's approval, none arrived in a more resplendent fashion than Waylon Narilik. The young man, who no one had ever heard of, arrived in a shining ebon coach drawn by a team of dragons? Okay. His clothing of rarest manufacture, and accompanied by an army of the most fantastical servants any of Gunnel had ever seen. Is he a magician? Valet? I don't know what that word is. Valets, with eyes on all sides of their heads. I think it's meant to be valet. Is it? It's not how you spell valet, though. Whatever. Okay. Manservants that seemed cast in... Oh, wait. Maidservants that seemed cast in gemstones. But such was not enough with Nali. "The man who marries my daughter must prove himself an intelligent fellow, For I would not have an ignoramus as a son-in-law and business partner, he declared. This eliminated a large part of the wealthy suitors who, through their lives of luxury, had never needed to think very much of it at all. Still, some came forward over the next few days, demonstrating their wit and learning, quoting the great sages of the past, and offering their philosophies of metaphysics. Is that a thing in Elder Scrolls? And alchemy. Metaphysics. I mean, there's people that, like, research about Oblivion stuff. That's kind of metaphysics, right? It's alternate dimensions and whatnot. So metaphysics is just magic? I don't know. Don't look at me. Whatever. Wayland Nerelic, too, came and asked Nali to dine at the villa he had rented outside of Gunnel. There the landowner saw scores of scribes working on translation of Aldemary tracts, and enjoyed the young man's somewhat irreverent, but intriguing intelligence. Nonetheless, but that doesn't prove he's intelligent. There's other people doing intelligent work for him. Whatever. Nevertheless, though he was much impressed with Wayland Nerelic, Nali had another challenge. I love my daughter very much, said Nali, and I hope that the man who marries her will make her happy as well. Should any of you make her smile, she and the great dowry are yours. Okay. The suitors lined up for days, singing her songs, proclaiming their devotion, describing her beauty in the most poetic of terms. Genenfa merely glared at all with hatred and melancholia? Is that how you use the word melancholy? I thought melancholy was like depressed and depression and whatnot. Nali, who stood by her side, began to despair at last. His daughter's suitors were failing to a man. Were failing to a man at this task. He's trying to say that they all failed, right? Here we go. Finally, Wayland Nerelic came to the chamber. Wait, is this the first time he's spoken? Yes. I will make your daughter smile, he said. I dare say. I'll make her laugh. But only after you've agreed to marry us. Well, that's bullshit. If she is not delighted within 1 hour of our engagement, the wedding can be called off. Wait, hold on. I don't want to read anymore. What's his plan? I know this guy is trying to trick poor Nerelic there. No, not Nerelic. God, what's the guy's name again? Nali. Now, you could always just go back and pause the video, read the next part, but I want to figure this out. What's his plan? I'll make her laugh, but only after you've agreed to marry us. If she is not delighted within 1 hour of our engagement. Okay, so if he's engaged, he doesn't get the money yet, right? Right, yes. It reminds me of that joke about the old woman who makes a bet with a bank manager. I don't actually remember the joke. Maybe if I remember it, I'll actually tell you, but that's fine. You can look it up. I don't understand. I don't know. We're just gonna have to keep going. Okay. So, Nali turned to his daughter. She was not smiling, but her eyes had sparked with some morbid curiosity in this young man. I mean, I get that. He's gonna do something to either fuck over her dad, or I don't know, make a trick, and she's gonna be haha, nice one, good job. But I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen. Anyway, whatever, keep going. Keep going. Yes. She was not smiling, but her eyes had sparked with some morbid curiosity at this young man. As no other suitor had even registered that for her, he agreed. The dowry is naturally not to be paid till after you've wed, said Gnarly. Being engaged is not enough. Okay. Might I see the dowry still? Asked Wayland. Knowing how fabled the treasure was, and understanding that this would likely be the closest, the young man would come to possessing it. Gnarly agreed. He had grown quite fond of Wayland. On his orders, Wayland, Gnarly, Glum Jennifer, and the Castellan delved deep into the stronghold of Gunnel. The first vault had to be opened by touching a series of runic symbols. He's gonna steal the money afterwards. Clever. Right, anyway, keep going. The first vault had to be opened by touching a series of runic symbols. Should one of the marks be mispressed, a volley of poisoned arrows would have struck the thief. Gnarly was particularly proud of the next level of security. A lock composed of blades with 18 tumblers required 3 keys to be turned simultaneously to allow entry. Oh, well, that's going to be hard to get past. The blades were designed to eviscerate any who merely picked one of the locks. Finally, they reached the storeroom. It was entirely empty. By Logan! We've been burgled! Cried Gnarly. But how? Who could have done this? A humble, but, if I may so, rather talented burglar, said Wayland. A man who has loved your daughter from afar for many years, but did not possess the glamour or the learning to impress, that is, until the gold from her dowry afforded me the opportunity. Ah, he spent all the money on impressing his father. You! Bellowed Gnarly, scarcely able to believe it. Then something even more unbelievable happened. Jennifer began to laugh. She had never even dreamed of meeting anyone like this thief. She threw herself into his arms before her father's outraged eyes. After a moment, Gnarly too began to laugh. Jennifer and Wayland were married in a month's time. Though he was, in fact, quite poor and had little scholarship, Gnarly was amazed how much his wealth increased with such a son-in-law and business partner. He only made certain never to ask from whence came the excess gold. Okay, so that's interesting. There was one prediction that didn't happen, and that was... I've forgotten what that was. I thought that Gnarly was actually testing the suitors on not how much money they had, and not how intelligent were, but on their heart. You know, like that Shaniqua song. That don't impress me much. Stop. It's the book grading, not a thing. Yeah, that's true. Publisher's note. The tale of a man trying to win the hand of a maiden whose father, usually a wealthy man or a king, tests each suitor is quite common, yes. See, for instance, the more recent Four Suitors of Berentha by Joel Yolves. I have that book. I think we should read that next. I gotta read the last book in the series, and then we'll read this maybe. The behaviour of the characters is quite out of character for the Dwemer. No one today knows their marriage customs, or even if they had marriage at all. One rather odd theory of the disappearance of the dwarves came from this and a few other tales of Marobar Sol. It was proposed that the Dwemer never, in fact, left. They did not depart Nirn, much less the continent of Tamriel, and they are still among us, disguised. these scholars use the story of Azura and the Box, which is the next book in the series, to suggest that the Dwemer feared Azura, a being they could neither understand nor control, and they adopted the dress and manner of the Chima and Altima in order to hide from Azura's gaze. Well, that was the Dowry, Ancient Tales of the Dwemer Part 10 by Morrowind Soul. And yes, in fact, Azura and the Box is the next book. And then I think we should read that other book. Do I have it? Let me see if I have it. What's it called? The Force... Wait, hang on. Shit. The Four Suitors of... No, not the Four. Just Four. Where's F? Yeah. Wait, do I not have that book? Try the. Okay. Yeah. Totally is bloody the. Jesus. Anyway, let's put that book there. Okay, where's the book? It's right here. And we'll read that. We'll read that later. How long's that? Ooh, it's a long one. Okay. Anyway, this has been another book reading. But for now, my name is Leo, and I'll see you next time.